We know that the square root of any number means what number do we multiply by itself to give us the number under the square root. For example, the square root of 9 equals 3, the square root of 16 equals 4. Okay, but what if we have the square root of a negative number, for example, the square root of -1? Now, what number do we multiply by itself to give us -1? There is no such number. And also, if we say, for example, the square root of -9 or -16, there is no number we can multiply by itself to give us a negative result. Even if the number is negative, for example, if we say -1 times -1 equals +1, -3 times -3 equals +9. So initially, we might say it's impossible to solve the square root of any negative number, and this is indeed impossible in the world of real numbers. But over time, scientists decided and said, why don't we create an imaginary number? From the word imaginary, the first letter I, we call it I and say that this is an imaginary number, and if we multiply it by itself, it gives us -1. Why this approach? Because while solving some equations, we might find I in the numerator and in the denominator, and they cancel each other out, and we return to the world of real numbers. Also, while solving some equations, we might find I times I, and we know that I times I, we must know this equals -1, so we also return to the world of real numbers. So from here came the concept of imaginary numbers. And one last point. Sometimes a number is complex, meaning part of it is real and part is imaginary. So if we say 4 plus 3i, the 4 is the real part and 3i is the imaginary part.